take yesterday and we're going to build on it. Yesterday, all you did was translating. And it took us a little while, but you have to have those words memorized. Some, difference, times, those are your most common ones. You got to know what they mean. Okay? So now we're going to add a little story to it. Karen bought some books for $3 each and received a discount of $6 off her purchase. They spent $45 after the discount. How many books did they buy? So this last sentence tells us what our variable is going to stand for. So we're going to write down B equals number of books. How many books did Karen buy? B is the number of books. Okay, so now we have to write an equation. Karen bought books for $3 each. The word each and the word per tell you multiply. So we're going to take $3 times every book. Do we know how many books we bought? No, but we said we're going to represent that with B. Karen then gets a discount of $6. When you get a discount, does that increase or decrease your total? Decrease. Okay, that's like subtraction. So now we need to subtract $6. How much did Karen spend? Read. How much did she spend? $45. So equals 45. Guys, you're doing nothing but distracting yourselves. Everybody understand where this comes from. This is exactly off your homework today. $3 for every book. That word each or per tells you to multiply. A discount tells you to subtract. I'm going to ask right now, does everybody have these little hints written down that Miss Hoff wrote down? Because when it comes to your homework and you need to look at an example, those little things will help you. All right, we also have to solve this today, but you guys got really good at solving these. Okay, if I cover up 3b, I need to add 6 because right now it's currently negative. Add 6 to both sides. Drag down 3b. Use your calculator. 45 plus 6. 51. Now what do I do? Divide by 3. Very good. B equals 51. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to throw my pen at you. 51, that's why you got a weird number. 17? Anybody else get 17? What does 17 mean? Very good. And make sure you give me 17 books. Give me that final answer with your work. She bought 17 books. Sounds like Mrs. Gertis. Mrs. Gertis is always buying books. You guys don't have Mrs. Gertis. She's a ELA teacher. You just know her. All right, let's look at B. Charlie ordered books online for $5 each. They paid $4 for shipping. The total cost of the purchase was $489. How many books did they buy? Okay, first things first, that last sentence. How many books did they buy? That tells us what we don't know. B, whoopsies. B, oh my gosh, my computer. B equals the number of books. Rejoice, quiet. Pencil, please. Books are $5 each. Each, that's our key word. Each tells us to do what? We're going to multiply here. So we're going to take 5 times B. Now, Charlie paid $4 for shipping. Does shipping increase or decrease your total? Increase. We hate paying shipping, so we need to add add how much? $4. How much was the total purchase? 489. On your own, solve that for me. Find out how many books Charlie just ordered. How do you go from here to here? You're missing work. No, that's not what you do first. See, you didn't show any work here. You don't know what you're doing. You got to show work. You got to show work. What's the first thing you should have done, Jack?
Subtract.
Subtract 4. Zayden, show me. You got to have that written on there because when you go to look at this later, you don't know what you're doing. After I subtract 4, what do? Divide by 5. B equals 97. How many books did they buy? 97 books. Make sure you write that off to the side. Anything I have written down, you should have written down. Every single thing that I have up there is worth points. Okay? Each or per tells you you're going to multiply. Discount's going to subtract. Shipping's going to add. All right? Then we have Deborah. Deborah purchased a prepaid phone card, and you guys don't even know what that is, but think of it like a gift card. Deborah bought a gift card for $20. Long distance calls cost 22 cents a minute using this card. Deborah used their card only once to make a long distance call. If the remaining credit on the card is $13.62, how many minutes did the phone call last? The very end says, how many minutes did the phone call last? Let's pick M equals the number of minutes. Okay. To set this up, we're going to take our remaining credit plus the phone call, and it's going to equal the total, or where we started. Write this down because this is going to be a problem that you see today. You're going to take your remaining credit. We're going to add to it how much the phone call cost. And that's going to give us our total that we started with. Can anybody tell me any of those pieces, any of those three, what the remaining credit was, what the phone call cost, or what the total we started with? Look back in your problem. Read through this problem again. Can anybody fill in any of those blanks? Liana? Perfect. The remaining credit is $13.62. Make sure you don't lose your decimal point. So Ms. Hoff kind of exaggerates that decimal point in there. Anybody tell me anything else? Well, the other two, you know, Jack? 20 is the phone call. 20 is what we started with. She bought that card with $20 on it. Okay? 22. We're going to equal this to 20 because that's what we started with. Now, our phone call is 22 cents a minute. Can anybody raise your hand and tell me how we're going to represent 22 cents a minute? Liana? 22M. I like that you're taking your 22 times your M. There's one small change that we have to make. Courtney? Has to do with this word right here.
Oh,
Okay, don't, a lot of times we look at the 22 and we just use it the way it is, but it's 22 cents. So Miss Haas is actually going to space that out like she should. It's 22 cents. So make sure you change that to a decimal. Make sure you change that to a decimal. You don't have majority of what I have written. Part of this is you taking notes and being focused. Okay. What we have to be cautious of here are decimal points. Nothing else changes when we're solving this. Somebody raise your hand and tell me what you want to do first. Jack already gave me an answer. Somebody I have not heard from today. Raise your hand and tell me what you want to do first. Petro. Very good. 1362 is positive, so we need to subtract it to the other side. Now I want everybody to pay attention when you're typing that into your calculator. Make sure you have the decimal point in the correct location. 20 minus 13.62. 20 minus 13.62. I'm going to steal it off Tegan's calculator here. He has 6.38. Do you guys have 6.38? Yes? Somebody else I have not heard from today. What is my next step? Raise your hand and tell me your next step. Bryce. Very good. And make sure it's 0.22. We're going to divide by 0.22. Divide by 0.22. Type that into your calculator carefully. Type that into your calculator carefully. What'd you get, Miss Caitlin? 29. Anybody else get 29? Okay. What does 29 stand for? What label are we going to put on that?
Minutes.
Minutes. 29 minutes. 29 minutes. Sure. Go to the back. Ryan rented a truck for one day. There was a base fee of $17.95 and an additional charge of 97 cents per mile driven. That should say driven. Ryan had to pay $189.64 when they returned the truck. For how many miles did they drive the truck? So again, that last question is going to tell us. What letter do you want to pick, I should say?
T.
Don't pick T. That's what I was going to say. T looks like a plus sign. That's the only reason. Let's go either M or X. You pick. X is going to stand for the number of miles driven. Now, I want everybody, and I'm going to read it out loud again. I want to see if you can write this all on your own. And we're going to talk about it. Okay? Ryan rented a truck for one day. There was a base fee of $17.95 and an additional charge of 97 cents per mile driven. Ryan had to pay $189.64 when he returned the truck. See if you can write this on your own, because this is the exact problem off your homework. See if you can set this equation up. What does a base fee of $17.95 mean? Courtney? How many times do you have to pay $17.95? Once or over and over and over again? One time. A base fee is the one-time charge. So when we're doing this, we are going to have to take that base fee and we're going to have to add to it the cost of miles. And that's going to give us our total. Okay? So my base fee is $17.95. Then it says additional charge of 97 cents per mile. There's that word per. What does per tell us to do? Multiply. Yep. What word do I also have to be careful of there, though? Additional means we're going to add cents. Cents. So how would I write how much it's going to cost us in mileage? 0.97x. 0.97x. And what does it equal? 0.64. Okay, on your own. No help from anyone around you. Solve this. Figure out how many miles you have. What's your first step? What's the first thing you're going to do? So I subtracted 1795 from both sides, and I got 171.69. Anybody double check me on that? Because I did it in my head. Is it 171.69?
Yes.
171? Okay. And then I divide by 0.97, and I get 177? 177 what? Miles. Miles driven. 177 miles. No, because that stands for milliliters. You can handle 5 letters. Miles. All right, one more and then you get to work. Ravi sold t-shirts and hats at a festival. They made a $5 profit for each t-shirt. Excuse me. Each t-shirt they sold. They also made a profit of $40 from selling hats. If they made a total profit of $125, how many t-shirts did they sell? So here's our variable. Can we just stick with X? X equals the number of t-shirts sold. Okay. So Ravi, he's going to make money from the t-shirt profits. Plus we're going to add to it the hat profits. And that's going to equal his total profits. And profits are like how much money he earns. $5 profit for each t-shirt. What's the key word there? Each. What does that tell me to do? Say it again. Very good. You're going to multiply here. So how would I represent my t-shirt profits? What am I going to write under t-shirt profits? Just $5? What's your each mean? Multiply by how many shirts they sold. Do we know how many shirts they sold? No, but we're using X. So that's where your 5X comes in. How much money did they make on the hats? 40 total? I don't have to take it times X. They also made a profit of $40 from selling hats. Does it use the word each or per? So we're not multiplying, it's just plain 40. And how many total profits did they make? 125. On your own, find out how many t-shirts are sold. $17, am I right?
Yes, sir.
17, what's my label? T-shirts sold. T-shirts sold. Now, yesterday I did not make you turn in work, but there's no way you're doing this without work today, agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I printed more papers with boxes, but you may have to use more than one box per problem, agreed? Like you might not be able to fit it in there, and that's fine. Here's the deal, though. You cannot raise your hand and say, I don't know how to set this up. You have to try on your own because you guys have a test on Tuesday. Okay, so we're starting to prepare. This is the last new thing you're learning. And really the new part is writing that equation. Then you guys are going to be pretty good after that. Okay, I will hand out a piece of paper for you. You get your laptops out and logged in. The rest of the hour is yours to work.